Never stop reading Bible. All right, let's dive into one of the most pivotal moments you'll find anywhere, the final dramatic showdown in Egypt. We're talking about the devastating plague that finally broke a kingdom's will and, in doing so, launched a nation's journey to freedom. So here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to walk through 3 crucial chapters of Exodus. Together, they tell this incredible story of judgment, salvation, and what it really means to start over. We kick things off with the ultimate standoff. I mean, think about it. 9 plagues have already hit Egypt. We're talking rivers of blood, skies black with locusts, just one disaster after another. But Pharaoh? He's still not budging. He's actually still trying to negotiate, to control their exit. You can just feel the tension building here, can't you? On one side, you've got Pharaoh's stubborn, unyielding pride. He just refuses to bend. And on the other, you have this divine promise that's been made. And, well, it's not going to be broken. Something has to give. And then, the final warning is delivered. It's a prophecy of the 10th plague, and it is by far the most terrifying. It's this sweeping judgment that will make absolutely no distinction between the royal palace and the humblest home in all of Egypt. And here's the crucial point. Even after hearing this final, terrible warning, Pharaoh's heart stays hard. He just won't listen. So the stage is set for a tragedy that is going to shake the Egyptian empire to its absolute core. Okay, so let's get into the turning point of this entire story. Chapter 12 describes this single, unbelievable night that changes everything. It's a night of heartbreaking loss for one people and incredible, miraculous deliverance for another. Which brings up a huge question, right? With this plague of death about to sweep across the entire country, touching every Egyptian family, what was the plan for the Israelites? How were they going to be kept safe? The answer was something brand new, a ritual called the Passover. And this is so important. It wasn't just a one-time thing. It was designed from the very beginning to be an eternal act of remembrance, a way to make sure this moment of salvation would become a core part of their identity forever. What's really fascinating here are the specific physical actions they had to take. Selecting a perfect lamb, marking their homes, it all formed this shield of faith. The blood on the door wasn't some magic trick. It was a public sign of trust, a declaration that this house was under divine protection. The speed of this turnaround is just incredible. At midnight, the plague hits, and a cry goes up throughout Egypt. But before the sun even rises, a completely broken Pharaoh does a 180. He's not just letting them go, he is begging them to leave, now. And by morning, an entire nation is on the move, walking out of slavery and into freedom. Now, escaping Egypt isn't the end of the story, not even close. It's really just the beginning. Chapter 13 shifts gears from that dramatic rescue to the challenge of building a new national identity, one that's going to be defined by memory and by divine guidance. So, to make sure this incredible moment was never forgotten, new laws were put in place. And you can see the pattern here, right? It's all about remembrance. It's about physically reliving and retelling the story so that every single generation would know what happened and why it mattered so much. This act in particular is so powerful. To consecrate just means setting something apart as special. So by dedicating their firstborn, every family was creating a living, breathing reminder of the plague that took Egypt's firstborn but spared theirs. It makes a huge national event deeply personal. And as this new nation walks out into this vast, unknown wilderness, they aren't alone. They get this constant, visible sign of God's presence, a pillar of cloud to guide them during the day, and a pillar of fire to give them light at night. So you see this really fundamental shift in the story. It moves beyond this one-time dramatic rescue and becomes about an ongoing, sustained relationship. The God who saved them is now the God who is leading them every single day. So we end on this thought. Winning freedom is one thing, but building a nation is something else entirely. The real question is, how do you take a shared memory of both terrible suffering and a miraculous rescue and turn that into the very foundation of who you are as a people? And that wraps up our look at these foundational events from the book of Exodus. Thanks for joining us. This explainer was based on source material from the Center Studio.